My name is Ann McFetridge, and I'm with the Promega Corporation. I have the tremendous privilege of getting to interview this year's ISHI's student ambassadors. And today I have Amber Vandepoele with me. I'm so excited that you're here.
Thank you.
Yes, this is like one of my absolute favorite parts of my job is getting to talk with you guys. So I have a 20-year-old myself, so it's really cool to be able to engage with the students. So welcome and thanks so much for taking the time out.
Thanks for having me.
All right, yeah. So what do you think about the conference so far? Are you enjoying yourself?
Yes, I really like it. I've gotten a lot of opportunities to go talk to people, see all the vendors, and everyone's been really nice and welcoming, especially too because I'm like, oh, they're like, are you in the grad program? I'm like, not yet, I'm still an undergrad, and they've been really nice and explaining a lot to me too, and being very informative, so I've enjoyed that, and the talks have been really great so far too. And I'm excited to present my poster today too, so yeah, I've loved it so far.
Excellent. Yeah, this is a great meeting for, I was in life sciences a gazillion years ago, and it was always very intimidating to go to these types of conferences. But ISHI is just more conversational, and there's no hierarchy, right? You know, you can talk to John Butler, and he doesn't care whether you're the president of your own forensics company or if you're an undergrad student like yourself. He just enjoys talking with folks and sharing what he knows. So, that's great. So, tell me what inspired you to go into forensic sciences. What is it that just fascinates you about it?
So when I was in high school, I took a forensic science elective course as my science class. I was like, I don't want to take physics or anything like that. I was like, I'm going to take forensics. And it was really nice because a big part of the class was guest lectures. So I got to hear about people in all kinds of different areas in forensics because there's just so much. So I learned from a DNA analyst, latent prints, firearms talks, all of that, and I got to hear what they do on a day-to-day. And once the DNA analyst talked, I was like, I could do that for the rest. I love that. It sounds great. And she shared so many things that she did, and it seemed like a really cool job, and it was able to do good and serve a purpose and help people while also practicing science and doing something that I really like and that I love and being in the lab. So that kind of set me on the path to doing that. So when I was looking for a school or a university, I really wanted something that had forensics. And at Syracuse, I got lucky enough too where you have to take another major with forensics. You can't just do forensics. So they really want you to build that strong science background because that's what's so important in forensics. So I chose biochem, and then from that, doing that with forensics and doing my research, it's just validified that I want to keep doing this, that I really enjoy it, and then being here and seeing everyone else, it's just motivated me. So after that class, I was and hearing people talk about their jobs in forensics, I was like, this is something I could see myself doing, and I really want to enjoy and pursue it.
That's awesome. I love your enthusiasm. I mean, it's just, it's filling up the entire room. I just absolutely love that. So tell me what your research is about. I haven't had a chance to see any of the student ambassador posters, so just kind of give me the overview of what you're studying and what you're presenting in your poster.
So my research is when at a crime scene, when you collect a swab or a sample, it's often going to be composed of a lot more than just your human DNA. So it'll have bacteria, plants. If it's outdoors, it'll obviously have plants, something like that. So my project is taking that mixed sample and separating it into its individual cell types so that analysis methods like shotgun sequencing will be simplified because you won't have to interpret all those mixtures. It'll just be a clean fraction. So we're taking that mix of bacteria, plant, and human and just making it human cells, plant cells, and bacteria cells. So then you can take your human fraction, analyze it, have it be super clean, easy profile to interpret, and then also if people are actually interested in the bacteria or interested in the plants, they can analyze those too and work with those clean fractions, which is a lot easier than a mixture. We also want to use that for geolocation purposes. So for example, especially for FBI and agencies and things like that, if you have a gun and you swab it and we find certain plant species, if we have a database where we can locate where specific trees grow, for example, we would be able to track where that weapon went and basically track it back to its origin and find everywhere that weapon, for example, was, and then help with investigations and things like that. So that's the
God.
large purpose of my project.
Yeah, that is so cool.
I
Wow.
really love it.
Yeah. Oh, no wonder you're so enthusiastic. I would be too. Oh my gosh. So, what inspired you to go into forensics, and then what keeps you motivated now?
So I think what inspired me is that you have the opportunity to help people, because I always knew like I really love science and I wanted to do something in science, but a lot of science things I feel like the purpose isn't really, or what the company stands for wasn't really necessarily something I valued a ton, or working just to make money and then not contribute to something.
Right.
So with forensics, you're able to contribute and help families and help bring some type of closure or just something and help people, and that's something that really appealed to me, and just having a large part of something that is bigger than just you and what you do in your job. So that really inspired me, and then I think that's also even was a part that keeps me going, because I know it's gonna be hard to see certain things, and it takes a tough person to do that, and it's hard for a lot of people to do that, and I know I can, and put it kind of to the side and be able to focus on it while realizing the good that it's gonna do. So I think that's motivation for me, because I'll be able to help people, and that's why I want to keep doing it, and I'm excited to get the opportunity to do it. So I'm really grateful.
Well, it certainly sounds like your research is focused in that way. So yeah, it is very rewarding every time I come to this meeting. It just brings to life the importance of this work. And I'm not in the lab. I mean, I do marketing, so, big deal. But knowing that I am part of an organization that is making products that these laboratories are using, and that it's bringing closure to a family whose child is missing. It's helping a sexual assault kid victim get closure because her assaulter is brought to justice, right? I mean, those things, you cannot put a price tag associated with that, right? And to have that reward, even indirectly, I think is really meaningful. And so certainly I could see why folks like yourself, who have that really strong desire from the get-go, pursue a field like this. So if you weren't going to be a forensic scientist, what would you want to be?
That's a great question. I think I've been lucky that I knew it from in high school, and I know a lot of people take a while to realize what they want to do. So I feel like I've been very lucky that pretty early on when I was thinking about career paths, I was like, forensics is where I want to go. But since being in college and being surrounded by a lot of the science students, I think even doctor, something like that, I would pursue. It's just for me now at this point too, I'm like, I want to be done with school and start working and getting to do some stuff and not still learning. I do really enjoy learning, but I'm ready. So I think I would have done that if I didn't know about forensics or didn't get to experience what I have, and also if I chose to be in school longer and keep it going. But I definitely know that this is the career field that I really care about, and I'm happy and lucky that I know that's what I want to do and that I could see myself doing it for a long time. So yeah, I'm grateful that I'm with forensics, but maybe a doctor.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's actually quite rare. I have a 20-year-old son, and he kind of went back and forth on a couple of things, and he has his roommates who had, similar challenges. So I'm just in awe that you've just felt, I don't know if it's a calling or just felt that this was the right decision for you. Right. So that's fantastic. So your dream job, what is that?
Currently, I want to say a DNA analyst for crime lab, whatever lab that might be, federal, state. Not sure, but I do know I've taken the classes now where I learned about all the tests that DNA analysts do on a daily basis and profile interpretation, mixture interpretation. So I definitely could see myself doing that. I like the puzzle that comes with it too, as well as the lab work. So I do see that being my dream job currently.
Yeah, that's terrific. So I'm going to switch gears just a little bit, Anya, because I want to get to know you a little better. So 3 words that you think describe you best.
Okay. I'm going to go with honest.
Okay.
And then funny.
Okay.
And driven.
Okay. That's a pretty good combination. So when you say funny, what kind of sense of humor do you think you have?
I'm definitely sarcastic.
Oh, sarcasm for the win.
Right?
Yes.
But I think like anything that happens with like my friends or even in the lab setting, like I'll try to make anything funny and like bring the humor to the group because I'm like, we deal with serious stuff and things get very serious with forensics and stuff too. So I'm like, we gotta lighten it and be a little funny and have it be fun again. And like in the lab, once everyone's like really down because nothing's working in their project, which is me all the time, I'm like, let's just make jokes about it.
Right.
And have a little bit of happiness while we do what we do, but definitely think I'm like the funny friend.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's awesome because you're exactly right. This field sees a lot of tragedy, right? You know, the cases that are investigated and so forth are often linked to just horrifying events. And so being able to find that humor, you know, will probably help you really be able to compartmentalize what you see during the day, but not take that home so you can have, you know, a good life away from the laboratory. So when your head's not in your books or you're not in the lab, what do you like to do for fun?
Oh, see, but it's not even going to be good. Because I'm going to say, I love watching true crime documentaries.
Okay, all right.
Which seems to just be more forensics. I can't get away.
Yeah.
But true crime is incredible. I love it. I have to get into the podcast. I'm not yet. But like the Netflix documentaries about anything true crime, I'm like, I love it. And I'm also a really big foodie.
Oh.
So I'm currently in Atlanta right now. And I've never been there before. And the food is like incredible.
Oh, yeah.
And so I love going with my friends or family, whatever it is, and going and trying new restaurants and food places and trying new food. It's like my favorite thing to do. If I'm not doing something, I'm like, let's go eat. I
Oh,
love
that's
food.
awesome.
So yeah, that's definitely something that I really
a
like.
woman after my own heart because I'm the same way. Yeah, I had the brownie about this big last night that was to die for.
Oh, the salted caramel one?
I had the s'mores one. Yeah, it was like, oh my
Good.
God, yeah. Ooh, yummy. Okay, so if you had a superpower, what would you want that superpower to be?
Okay, so the first thing that comes to mind would be flying.
Okay.
Mostly because I've had a couple really bad airport experiences now. So I could avoid the whole airport and just fly to wherever I want to go myself.
Yeah.
Don't have to go through TSA, don't have to sit on the airplane, then have the flight be canceled and go back home. It's rough. Or go to a whole other airport and then drive with strangers back. Chaos. I've had some stories, so I would just choose flying and then I can just fly wherever and have it be free. I'd love that.
Awesome.
That's my superpower.
Awesome. That's a darn fine one. So I'm with you on that, the whole airport thing over it. If you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would be your first choice?
That's a really hard question because I feel like there could be so many people to go there.
If you can't narrow it down to one, I'll take two. That's okay.
I think first one that comes to mind too would be like President Barack Obama. Kind of want to pick his brain and like just learn more and like I would want the whole family though, not just him. I'll take Michelle too and the whole and I'd love to talk to them and sit down. I think they also just seem really fun too. So I feel like I get to learn a lot, but also have it be like a fun and casual dinner and not too strict. So I think I'd love to just like talk to them, hang out with them, pick their brains.
That's great. So my last question is, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, right? I'm preparing you for interview questions because they always hit you up with that question.
Yeah.
Where would you like to be in 5 years?
So the upcoming year, I'm doing my master's. So after that, then after I complete my master's, I really hope to find a job. Again, I'm going to be really open to applying anywhere and finding something because I really, again, want to do DNA analysis. And if labs are full, labs are full. So I'm pretty open to applying anywhere, but I really hope I can start as a DNA analyst and work somewhere in the country and, be a part of helping improve justice and help families.
Okay. Is there a particular part of the country you'd rather be in?
Well, if I have my preferences.
Yeah, let me hear.
I'm from California.
Okay.
I would go back, except it's really expensive, so maybe not. But now I'm in Atlanta, and I kind of like it there. It's nice. I also think like Seattle is something else on the West Coast. I'm a big West Coast girl. I know I don't want to be in Syracuse.
Okay.
That's for sure. The snow, I learned about it, and I enjoyed it. It's going to be 5 years there now, and I appreciate learning about the snow and the weather, but I will not be there for any longer than I have to.
Fair enough. I can
So
imagine.
not the snow, not the snow, Syracuse snow.
Yeah,
Not
they
doing
get
that.
inundated with it. So I can
Yes.
imagine going from California where you're not used to that, and then, hey, we're going to get 24 inches of snow tonight, and then 3 days later, 12 more, and 4 days later, another foot and a
Yeah,
half.
and they
Yeah.
won't cancel school because
No.
if they did, we'd never go to school.
Exactly.
So-
Yeah, exactly. You could only go from May to October, and then that would never work. So, well, I really enjoyed talking with you. I'm definitely come by and check out your poster,
Yes,
and
please
I
do.
appreciate you taking the time. One final question: what has been your favorite thing about ISHI so far?
Probably my favorite is going to see all the exhibitors. I've gotten to learn a lot by talking to them and seeing what new products they have, and that's not something that I really knew a lot about, and all the new technology and instruments and what companies have been working on versus what people have been working on. And like more in the academia, I've learned a lot about that, but it was really cool to see what the vendors had and what they've been working on, especially during the pandemic, what new instruments they have and what they're sharing. So that was really cool to see. And some of these things look so fancy and high tech.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I want that.
Yeah.
So that was been really fun.
Excellent. Yeah, the technology has really changed in the
Yes.
last few years in particular. So, well, good. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank
I
you.
hope you get to meet a lot of folks, including John Butler, because he is a great guy and loves to give advice, especially to young people. So, thank you so much, and enjoy
Thank
the
you.
rest of the conference.
Thank you so much.